Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Flash Season 7 review series. And today I'm going to be talking about Episode 11, Family Matters Part 2, which I have just finished watching. And I am very proud to say that this episode was actually really good. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and it kind of felt like the old Flash, like the earlier seasons that I know and love. And I know I've said for the past couple of reviews that Season 7 hasn't been that good and I haven't enjoyed it that much, and a couple of the episodes have just felt really dry and lifeless. But this episode, I think, really turned that around. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and I think Part 2 of Family Matters was a lot more stronger than Part 1. Part 1 was okay, but I think Part 2 really knocked this one out of the park, and it's really delivered in a big, big way. And I'm very proud to say that I enjoyed the hell out of this one a lot. So I'm hoping for the next episode, episode 12, that we're going to start getting back on track, because I wouldn't say that Flash Season 7 has been terrible. Just feels like something's been missing, and looks like they finally found it. So let's just hope they stay on the path that they are and we can get back to being a top show once again. So this episode, Family Matters Part 2, pretty much picks up where we left off at the end of Part 1, where we saw Speed Force Nora apparently killed Iris, Bashir and Alexa. So it kind of left episode 1 on a massive cliffhanger, and I thought that was a great way to end Part 1 and a cool setup for Part 2. But as I said, overall I really enjoyed this episode a lot. So with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Episode 11, Family Matters Part 2. So we pick up where we left off at the end of Part 1, where we see Barry is standing over Bashir, Alexa and Iris's body, but it actually turns out to be an illusion. We see Bashir used his powers to make them all see themselves as dead, even though they weren't, as a way to trick the Speed Force Nora. Iris figures out that Speed Force Nora attacked her because she sees her as competition. Team Flash begins to work looking for Speed Force Nora, realizing that they have limited time before she realizes that the other forces are alive. Barry realizes that they have to take Bashir and Alexa to that place in time when the Speed Force was dead in order to keep them safe. Iris stays with them in that space, though she has a device to get them back home. Barry returns home and finds Nora now much darker, with a more sinister look waiting for him. She knows that the others are still alive, but still insisting that they want to kill her. She demands that Barry bring them to her so she can stop them, or she will destroy Central City. She also wants him to bring her Dion. Barry speeds off to try to do just that. Elsewhere at home, Joe is watching the news and sees a storm is causing major issues, including a lightning strike that lets all of the metahumans criminals out of Iron Heights. As Joe talks with Cecile, she's also struck by lightning. At Star Labs, Caitlin tries to help Cecile, telling Joe that Nora is causing the storm. They don't know why Nora would target Cecile. In hiding, Iris tells Alexa about Barry's childhood, but Bashir is bored and tries to convince Alexa that they need to work together to fight Nora, and that means getting out of there. Alexa agrees, and Alexa overpowers Iris and tries to get her to give her the device, but Iris opts to destroy it instead. It turns out to have just been an illusion as well, and Alexa and Bashir have the real orb and leave with it. Barry finds Dion at a football stadium and tells Barry that he didn't want the others to die, and Barry lets him know they're okay. Dion says he wanted Barry to feel the same pain that he felt when Barry told him he was a mistake. Barry apologizes and warns him about Nora and says he wants to keep him safe. Dion says the only way to do that is kill Nora. He won't help Barry, but he wants to do things his own way. Chester and Cisco can't figure out how to contain Nora, so Barry goes to confront her instead. He tries to appeal to her humanity, but she tries to make him understand that the things that have been happening are not her doing. The other forces are actually responsible for the storm and other things happening, not her. They have been the issue the entire time. Interesting. Iris comes to tell Barry about Bashir and Alexa. Cisco and Chester are able to confirm that what Nora is saying is true. The forces really have been causing the earthquakes, and the anomalies as of late are now tearing the city apart. Barry and Iris are lost what to do, so Joe steps in with some fatherly advice. Sometimes it takes family to protect family. They realise they need to bring all of the forces together instead of driving them apart. Yeah, this was actually a good scene with Joe giving everybody the pep talk that they needed. This is scenes like this I've missed in the show lately, so it kind of felt like the old Flash show that I know and love. And, Jesse L. Martin just knocked it out of the park like he always does, and he was definitely the heart and soul of this scene. Dion wakes up and Bashir and Alexa arrive. With the family now together, they go to face Nora. She is displeased and says she will have to kill him too. Nora takes them away into the Speed Force. The Force fight is on, but they are soon ejected from the Speed Force, though the fight is not yet over. A collider-type reaction starts forming over Central City, threatening a reverse Big Bang. Barry runs up into the storm, very similar to what he did in Season 1, as if leaving the three forces to face Nora. The three of them work together, and Nora is forced to see a future completely empty of others, something that is far worse than death. She begs the others not to let this be her real fate, and Alexa reaches out to her and tells her it doesn't have to be that way because she's a part of the family. Nora asks for forgiveness. With time running out, the now united forces come to Barry's aid, superpower him so that he's fast enough to save the world by stopping the storm just in time. We also see Frost is out of prison due to the storm issue, as she, air quote, escaped and is trying to catch Mark Chilbane so she can bring him back to prison. He's more interested in flirting with her, and the two of them end up fighting. She eventually uses her powers to get the upper hand and stop him. We also see Frost shows up at Caitlin's apartment, and Frost has got probation for her efforts during the storm. She's now out of prison, and she also tells Caitlin that she has a crush on someone, which is the bartender. With now the world saved, everyone goes into the Speed Force, and the four forces will expand their space to bring light to the universe. Barry is back to normal now and faster than ever. And back in Central City, we see Cecile has woken up from being attacked, and she's going to be just fine. We see at Jitters, Allegra, Chester, Camilla, and Cisco get coffee, though Camilla and Cisco make it very awkward. Cisco gets a text from Chip Cooper telling him they need an answer. At home, we see Barry and Iris try to process everything that's happened, and Barry very casually says, "Wonder what it would be like if we had kids." And Iris goes up to the bedroom and says, "Let's start a family right now, then, Barry." And Barry says, "You're so impulse, Iris." And he speeds off into the bedroom, and that's pretty much ends episode 11 and my review. Overall, very good episode. First one that I've actually enjoyed in quite a while from season 7, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next, and I'm hoping this will be the start of getting the show back on the right path, because I know that The Flash is capable of being a good show because we've seen it in the past and they've delivered some excellent seasons. But for some reason, after the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 7, the last few episodes have just felt very dry and very lifeless. It just feels like everyone's just going through the motions and nobody's really putting their heart and effort into it because, they're an unbelievable cast of actors and actresses, and they've delivered some excellent performances in the past, but this was the first episode in a while that felt like the old Flash that I know and love, and I really enjoyed this one a lot, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next in episode 12. So, with that all said, I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you think of all of the forces coming together Do you think that was a good idea? And also, what was your thoughts on Speed Force Nora being all evil? Did you enjoy that, or do you think that might have been a little bit over the top? And also, what about Barry and Iris starting a family? Where do you think that's going to lead? And did any of you catch the little reference to Impulse? Could that be a lead up to the 150th episode where we are going to see Impulse make his Arrowverse debut? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Flash Season 7 review series, where I am going to be talking about episode 12, which I am very much looking forward to, and this is the first time that I'm actually pumped for an episode of The Flash. So let's hope this is the start of the show getting back on track. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, thanks for listening.